Tonight on Valley News Live, just earlier in the week, the North Dakota House of Representatives voted to advance Senate Bill 2231, and local advocates are speaking out.
Also, one Fargo woman is simply wanting answers to what happened after she was involved in a hit and run.
And the annual Battle of the Senses kicked off at NDSU today. All that and more coming up.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
Thank you for joining us here on Valley News Live. Earlier this week, the North Dakota House of Representatives voted to advance Senate Bill 2231. Now, this bill would prohibit public schools and state agencies from requiring the usage of pronouns that don't correspond to an individual's sex assigned at birth.
Now, this bill led to a large debate between North Dakota lawmakers, with some saying, quote, "It's another week in this legislative session and we have another bill that's telling certain people that they have value or don't have value in our state." While others say, quote, "This protects all children and upholds parental rights and therefore parental confidence that their child is safe at school."
The bill passing has left local advocates to talk about what they think this will mean for the transgender community moving forward.
These are conversations worth happening, but making a law so broad and restrictive isn't a conversation, it's kind of a decree. And I think we do need more conversations to better understand why these policies exist, what these kids need, and to make sure that all of our kids are getting the support so they can just do better in their life in general.
The bill passed by a vote of 60 to 32. The bill was passed by both the House and the Senate.
And yet another report of a hit and run here in the metro area, as a Fargo woman is simply wanting answers to what happened. The suspect is also said to have left their license plate at the scene of the crime.
Valley News Team's Aaron Walling brings us this story.
Stop signs are meant to help with road safety, but lately more and more hit and runs have been happening with people running past these, especially here at this intersection where one happened last week.
It's almost like he didn't know the sign was there.
At this intersection of 4th Street South and 9th Avenue South, Ann Sackleson was driving when she noticed a smaller car barreling through. She tried to avoid it, but was hit and spun around while the spare tire flew off from underneath.
I hit the accelerator to try to miss him.
What was bizarre to Sackleson is the fact the driver left the scene, but didn't stop to check what happened and left their bumper and license plate behind.
I almost started laughing because the lady followed him and came back and said he didn't have a front license plate. And I said it's laying in the street on the bumper.
Now she just wants an apology from whoever hit her truck.
If I hadn't been paying attention, he would have T-boned me.
In Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
Now, if you have any information on this case, you are encouraged to contact Fargo PD. You can read more about this story as well as others by downloading the VNL News app. It's 100% free. Just search VNL News in your app store today.
Well, it's time to check in with First Alert Storm Team's Jim Gasha. How things are looking like right now outside. Jim?
Well, things are still looking pretty nice tonight, and our stretch of good weather continues. Looking out at the Dakota Magic Skycam, there's a little bit of a breeze, but not too bad, and those temperatures across the area, most of us are sitting in the teens, except for Wadena at 21 degrees, Baudette at 24, and a couple of other places, Roseau and Langdon, also not in the teens. A look at the satellite and radar shows some clouds for folks in our southwestern counties, and those are going to keep pushing to the east ahead of some snow that's going to be making its way into the area tomorrow morning. But looking down south, they've been hit with another round of severe weather, and some tornadoes pushed their way through Mississippi, and now they're moving through Alabama, moving at quite a clip at about 60 miles per hour for those folks down there. So we're going to continue watching that one as that pushes its way to the east. But back home here in Fargo, we're going to see these temperatures pretty chilly overnight. Plenty of single digits as those clouds continue to push their way into our area. So guys, I'll have more information on what we can expect with that snow in our forecast coming up in a couple of minutes.
Alrighty, Jim, thank you. Well, tornadoes have killed at least 26 people in the states of Mississippi and Alabama overnight, leaving even more injured. A storm chaser has described the damage in Rolling Fork, Mississippi as, quote, apocalyptic and a war zone movie scene. Now, at least 13 people are said to have died in Rolling Fork, Mississippi, and the mayor saying he feels as though his city is completely gone. The National Weather Service says at least 12 tornadoes hit parts of Mississippi and Alabama, and 25 of the 26 deceased are in the state of Mississippi. Governor Tate Reeves has declared a state of emergency as of early this morning.
What we've seen over the last 36 hours in Mississippi, on the one hand, has been heartbreaking to see the loss and devastation of these communities, but on the other hand, has been inspiring and gives me great reason for optimism.
Search and rescue teams are expected to continue their efforts over the next several days.
We've been bringing updates regarding the deadly explosion at a candy factory in Pennsylvania, and today more details have been released. The death toll now stands at 5 after crews discovered another person has died at the R.M. Palmer factory in West Reading. At around 10:45 a.m. this morning, first responders working at the scene found a 5th person. First responders are working with the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency, special equipment, as well as search and rescue dogs to find anyone who is still trapped. Officials have not confirmed what caused the explosion, but a spokesperson for UGI Utilities says there were no reports of a gas leak in the week before the explosion.
Reports have come in that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky urging sister countries in Europe to increase and speed up their supply of weapons to Ukraine, as well as impose additional sanctions on Russia, saying otherwise the war in Ukraine could drag on for years. This comes after Russian President Vladimir Putin moved tactical nukes to the neighboring country of Belarus. The 12th annual Battle of the Senses kicked off at NDSU today with the colleges of health professions and engineering teaming up to raise money for a local high school student.
This will benefit Aaron Erickson, who was born with a rare heart defect. Erickson recently had a heart transplant, and this fundraising will go to helping with his care, medications, and additional heart procedures.
Just to play a simple part in just raising awareness for how awesome a 15-year-old boy can be and how much inspiration he can give to no matter what age you are. It's just so fun to be a part of this and to just, just give what little us college students have to be able to serve and give it to a good cause.
For more information on how to donate, you can go to valleynewslive.com and click on this story.
Earlier this week, asylum seekers were warned by Canadian police they could be sent back if they continued to walk into Canada through the unofficial United States border.
Seekers crossed into Quebec at Roxham Road just after the two countries amended a 20-year-old asylum pact trying to stem the influx. U.S.
President Joe Biden and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced changes to the Safe Third Country Agreement on Friday after a record number of asylum seekers arrived in Canada via unofficial border crossings.
The Safe Third Country Agreement, which was signed in 2002 and came into effect in 2004, originally meant asylum seekers crossing into Canada or the United States at the border crossings were turned back and told to apply for asylum in the first, quote, safe country they arrived in. Also, we want to check this out. One of our viewers, Brooke Ford, shared this video with us today of her granddaughter trying to make the best of spring and attempting, that's the key word here, attempting to enjoy her swing set despite the snow.
Looks like me trying to swing even on a normal day. Well, later on Valley News Live, lawmakers throughout the country continue to discuss the future of the popular app TikTok. We'll tell you more after the break.
And unfortunately, we have quite a few rounds of snow in our future, primarily on Monday, but that one's pretty isolated. And then later on in the week, a more substantial snow comes on Thursday. And I'll have details on what you can expect with that, plus a look at our well below normal temperatures and how long they might last. Our details coming up next.